paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery. Before we get any further, I have a question for all of you listeners at home, as well as Jason and DJ, who are here with me this week.
How are other people than
I
us
didn't
going to
sign up
answer
for a
that?
pop quiz on my podcast.
Yes, but that's why it's a pop quiz, DJ. No one signs up for a pop quiz by definition.
It's a pop quiz, DJ.
Yeah.
Like in the movie Speed, where he goes pop quiz hot shot. He wasn't prepared. It was a pop quiz.
Dennis Hopper is correct in this circumstance. So here's the deal. Which do you believe in the context of a witch? Let's say like you're watching Hocus Pocus or something. Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out, okay? What would you consider to be more powerful? A curse, a hex, or what's the third one?
Great story, bud.
Yeah. You really came in on...
I would assume that a hex is worse than a curse, because you hear about curses a lot. You hear about hexes less frequently.
All right, DJ,
No,
what do you
wait,
think?
isn't a curse intergenerational, though, and a hex is individual?
I was going to say, I think a curse can last between like, lineages. Like, you can have a family be cursed.
This has always been my thought as well, that a curse would be stronger than a hex or...
But, like, you hear about hexes less often, so it makes me think it's a little bit, like, stronger just because, like, oh, this motherfucker pushed me past where I would curse somebody, I'm hexing him. What's the third one, though?
A jinx was the other one, I believe.
A jinx?
A jinx is weak.
Jinxes are... Anybody can do a jinx.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious, because in the world of Dominaria, a hex is more powerful than a curse.
Is this just some stupid thing based on card names?
Because the card hex kills 6 creatures and no curses kill 6 creatures?
Because the card Vidalian Hexcatcher can counter any non-creature spell, whereas the card Curse Catcher can only counter instants or sorceries. Therefore...
All right, everybody. I server deafened Corbin right now, so we're going to continue the rest of the podcast.
Is more powerful than a curse.
I server deafened him, and we're just going to continue on with the rest of the podcast. I think it's just better in general.
Lore
it's better content.
You're welcome.
JJ, you don't even need to put in whatever he's saying. I can't hear it. Jason can't hear it. So we're just gonna go on me and Jason, and you can see a little muted thing of Corbin. We'll keep.
Do you know why we're annoyed? We're annoyed because Corbin came on this podcast and said, "Hey guys, remember I got a preview card?
Leveling up his business.
Well, I got a preview card. Yeah, great, Corbin. You got a preview card. Matt Damon bought a zoo. Who gives it?
And Magic Online.
We bought a zoo. Corbin's like, the plot circle of my preview card is I got a preview card.
Corbin's so poor, he starred in the movie We Bought a Zune. Got him.
Oh, is he figuring it out? Or is he just going to leave himself server deafened?
This is a good beer. I think I got this from Wally D, who has the channel Wally D&D on YouTube.
It's a good channel name.
It really is.
I'm very jealous of people who get to have puns as their Twitter name based on magic cards.
Yeah.
Like Secluded Glenn is Glenn Jones. Excellent with 2 N's. I have a friend named Jordan Levitin, and his is Inkwell Levitin.
Yeah.
So that's just quality. Mox Ruby, also good. Like,
very good.
Don't forget Chosler. That's a good one.
Yeah, if you bully an old man, you can get that name on Twitter.
I can't believe you all didn't want to hear about it. I was just trying to educate you.
That you got a preview card. Well, I got a beer, and I think it's better to get a beer because I will shout out your whatever. I shouted out Wally's YouTube channel, Wally D&D. It's a good name. I will shout out your thing within reason. If I get a note, it's like, hey, just shout out ISIS for me. I won't, but...
I mean, there's some good people on both sides.
So, good point. If you want me to shout out the good people in ISIS, I guess.
Listen,
it's one beer. It's the cheapest advertising you will get ever. Have you ever tried to buy advertising on a podcast?
On Facebook? Like, cool, man. Oh my God, it's like $30 minimum for like any reasonable amount of reach.
Literally one beer. So, some people send me more than one beer. I give more than one shout out if I get to it later.
And you get to support the USPS too.
By lying to them and say you're not transporting anything fragile, liquid, or perishable.
Of course.
Anyone who's been in MTG finance for long enough knows the whole thing. Do you have anything fragile, liquid, or perishable, like lithium-ion batteries, perfume, or mercury?
Has anyone ever
Remember, guys, if you weigh it, say it. You know, when I go to the post office a lot, I don't really send cards through the post office because I can just put a first-class stamp on an envelope with a top loader in it. But when I'm mailing out Patreon rewards for people, go to patreon.com/BSB. I show up with 5 Rubbermaid totes of glasses to go out to patrons, and then someone sees me coming, flips their little thing to go on break, and the last person left goes, oh, fuck. I get out of here in 2 hours. I'm like, not tonight.
That's true, though.
This stack of paper is the 25 customs forms I filled out ahead of time. It's going to take you 10 minutes in the computer for each one. And it's going to cost us $900 to send all these out to patrons. And you know what? Super worth it. I've sent out glasses enough times that they know my first and last name at the post office. So if you want to be in on that, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/BSB. We do all kinds of rewards. We're leaning a little bit more towards having Patreon do the fulfillment for us, but we've got posters, playmats. Maybe we'll do stickers next. I don't know, something easy. We've got it if you want it. So become a patron. You'll get rewards. You'll get access to the spreadsheet. You'll get access to the after hours. $20 a month is $4 or $5 an episode. Isn't it worth that to you? Have we not made you more money than $4 or $5 a week with our picks of the week and our breakings bulk? Of course we have.
And if we haven't, I'm going to make you some money right now.
Ooh, are you going to talk about your preview card again?
Corbin is obsessed with opening a booster pack on this podcast. People care.
I've got some Dominaria United boosties. You get 12 of these in a box, y'all, with a box topper card. Do you remember when box toppers came out? And there were these really cool things for the most part, expensive cards. You could get whatever. Now you just get like set foils, like old school set foils as your box topper in a collector box. Like, not old school in that they're retro framed, literally just a basic foil card.
Oh my God, I got allocated so bad. I ordered 3 cases and got 3 boxes.
Oof. Well, I've yet to open up
what I wanted.
Yeah, I'm a box and a half in. I've got no Legends cards yet.
Why would you open a box? Do you see the price of the Zendikar boxes that have the...
They're fun. Look at these lands, Jason. They're cool.
Why are you derailing your own podcast while you're in it?
I wanted to be a Magic player.
It's like shooting holes in your own boat. What are you doing?
I wanted to be a Magic player who enjoyed Magic and give a really authentic experience. However...
You want an authentic experience? Let's play Flip It or Rip It every week.
Well, I opened up a Karn Living Legacy, but it's not textured, foiled, art, whatever. It's just a Karn. So it's probably worth nothing. And look, if you watch me open this, I can tell you now I lost money on the retail of this. Don't do the same. That's how you make money. You're welcome.
You took over this podcast for a PSA that everybody knows already.
I mean, people know PSAs, but they still make them, right? Everyone knows this is your brain on drugs, but they still have the commercials.
I'm going to download a card and run you over with it.
You wouldn't download a cubed car?
I'm going to stop you, drop you, and then roll over you with a car. Like,
you wouldn't download a car, but you might crush it into a cube with your house keys inside.
That's a good story. I got
that
a
is
very
a good story
out of that.
There are so many new listeners to this podcast. Every time we get new listeners, it's like, oh man, there's so much that we don't reference. If we were smart, we'd do running gags and just reference them all the time so people could feel like part of it. But we're like, hey, remember that thing that happened 9 years ago? No? Well, you, buddy. Keep up. All our episodes are available.
Brainstormbrewery.com.
Are they?
Yes, I think so.
I spent a lot of time and a lot of web development money paying somebody to make sure they were.
Okay, so go to brainstormbrewery.com. You can get the new stuff in your Stitcher, your Pod,
you don't know anymore. Don't even say
Podbean, iTunes,
Pod.
I think there's one that's just called the podcast app on Android.
Podstone.
Kneel before Pod.
Birthing Pod.
Pod's not dead.
Birthing Pod. Pod's not dead. That's also
the Pod Squad.
These are all the names of actual podcasts, I'm sure. Like Pod's Not Dead is definitely a podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's people that really liked those God's Not Dead movies with Kevin Sorbo.
God, they filmed those here in Oklahoma.
Of course they did.
My friends worked on them. There were some horror stories. All right, I assume that made it into After Hours, which, by the way, patreon.com/BSB, as Jason said. But now it is time.
I know, no, but like for us, that was like 15 minutes since I pitched the Patreon. But since we cut to After Hours, it's been 15 seconds.
Yeah, you pitch it. We go off into a long thing. I pitch it right back.
Anyway, subscribe to our Patreon. And if you want to hear what we just said for 20 minutes, again, subscribe to our Patreon. Do you remember the URL? It was very recent.
Make an alt account. That's what the After Hours was about, was my generous amount of alternate accounts on dating websites. So, like, you know what? Make an alternate Patreon account under a fake name. Sign up for a Patreon on that one.
Tell us what you really think.
Is the Farmers Only clip on YouTube?
Yeah, it is.
JJ, yes, will you put that in the...
Nicholas did a very good job on it.
Put it in the YouTube.
Incredible editing, yes.
Yeah, throw that up there now, JJ.
People should know about Farmers Only.
That's what you can get with your sending Jason beer money. You can get stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, if you want me to Farmers Only pitch anything... send me one beer. That's the cheapest.
There you go. Look, while we're on the subject, though, and before we move on, I want to give a shout out to Punk Outer Games. Very, very generous store. I just wanted to give a shout out to them. That's all.
Did they send you a new hat?
They sent me a very... I don't want to out anybody, but they sent me a very nice note with an order I made. So...
somebody should send
very
you
kind, and that is how you get shout outs on Brainstorm Brewery. So go check them out on the marketplaces. So
they're also just opening up an LGS like very soon, or already did. So yeah, stop by and say hello.
Absolutely, check it out.
Stop by where?
All right. Also,
Punk Outer Games.
Where is the LGS though? You can't dox a building if you want customers to go there. If you want to know where our store is, you got to buy from us on eBay first.
Make them work for it.
Yeah. Make them work for it. All right, speaking of working for it, it is time for Breaking Bulk, and you all will be working for this one for a long time because I don't think you're going to get it.
Breaking Bulk time. Breaking Bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
It is a lore
Dominaria United.
Nope, I thought about it.
Uncommon artifact.
I thought about it. I don't want to. No,
yeah, I know you thought about it. It's all you think about.
Green uncommon from Lorwyn.
A forbidden set. Is it the Clash thing?
Nope, and there are no forbidden sets.
Is it a creature or non-creature? If it's a creature, it's Treefolk Harbinger.
It is not Treefolk Harbinger.
Is it the Seed Guide Ash?
It is not Seed Guide Ash, which, by the way, is $5.
Yeah, because it's a Treefolk. And it's a tutor.
I don't think Jagged Scar Archers is a pick anymore, is it?
It's not Jagged Scar Archers.
It can't be. It's been printed too many times.
Imperious Perfect got hit too many times, too. I know that one.
It is not Imperious Perfect.
Is it Elvish Promenade, then?
It is not Elvish Promenade.
We've named every green uncommon. It's not the Clash thing?
No, Elvish Promenade costs less than the card that I just am choosing this week. It is a creature. You actually, for what it's worth, you haven't named the most expensive green uncommon in the set, which is not my pick, but also
is
one
it
you
Elvish
haven't.
Harbinger?
That's the most expensive one, and that is not my pick. But now you have named all but my pick.
I swear we've named... Well, I didn't name the Clash thing. I don't know what it's called. But
yeah, this card is this card's $1.
2 elves and gives them death touch. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, it's not that, Jason.
Jesus.
It's like Guilt Leaf Ambush, I think. Is that it, Jason?
I do believe
I'm guessing
that's the
Jason's card now, not yours.
Yeah, it is Guilt Leaf Ambush, Jason's card, but no, that is you guys are just giving up.
I guess.
One can assume.
I'm gonna be so mad.
Me too.
Is this a changeling? No.
I mean,
Changeling Titan?
It's a Changeling Titan.
It's Changeling Titan?
Did you pick this one somewhat recently?
I feel like... Why? Because it's a 7/7 Changeling? It has Champion. That's a shit ability.
You can loop with Champion sometimes. You can make like weird.
You can.
loops.
You could. That was the thing with, bringing back, like getting rid of your own Bitter Blossoms or bringing them back. Lots of fairy loops with Champion. But yeah, you all named a bunch of the other ones. But Changeling Titan is a 7/7 for 5 mana with Changeling, champion a creature, and it is a $1.25 market price. Or I'm sorry, $1.25 median. It's $1 market price. So yeah, I mean it is a real pick. There are still a lot of uncommons worth money in Lorwyn. Not as many as there used to be.
Which is why it's a forbidden set.
It's not a forbidden set, man. Yeah.
I will follow it up with a Black Shadowmoor uncommon.
Get out of here. Stop it.
Soul Snuffers.
Beseech the Queen.
That's Eventide, and you've already guessed that before when we said Lorwyn, I think. So you're closing in on the 4.
Beseech the Queen.
It is Beseech the Queen. It is a timely pick.
Yeah, because it's been 6 months since Corbin picked it.
No, I was going to say because we can no longer Beseech the Queen.
Ooh, Jesus.
Because
this is a pro-Ireland podcast.
Wait, Corbin, you just got that?
You can beseech the king, but he'll probably scowl at you and make a dismissive gesture.
Corbin's dying over here over my stupid, I guess I'll make a queen breaking bulk.
It was just so dumb.
I was like,
it was so dumb that you completely got me, man.
All right. I have an uncommon, a blue uncommon from the first Dominaria.
Merfolk.
It's an uncommon, so it's not rewind, unwind.
Merfolk Trickster. Is it Merfolk Trickster?
Are you silently sipping out of...
I think you know it's not Merfolk Trickster.
Okay.
I have a sore throat. My son went to daycare to preschool for one day, and then he came home and coughed directly into my mouth.
That's how.
I was like, "How was preschool, bud?" And he went, and I went, "Oh, okay." I felt that hit the back of my throat. I'm sick right now.
Dominaria blue uncommon.
Is it the Saga? Time of Ice?
It's not the Saga.
If I go 0 for 2, I'm going to be sad.
Hope so.
A blue uncommon.
Wizard's Retort?
It's not Wizard's Retort. That's a good guess.
That was a good guess.
Sage of Latnam?
No, that's a bad guess.
Why is that a bad guess?
Because you're an idiot.
Because it was wrong.
Fair enough.
Blue uncommon.
Creature.
Slim Voda.
That's a good guess.
No.
Really?
It's really not. You're gonna be so mad. This is a $2 card.
Is it Takeover because it's technically green also?
No, it's mono blue. It's a 1/3 creature, for fuck's sake, guys.
I think we're just having one of those moments, shared psychosis here, where we're just both failing at the same time.
It's 1/3.
Okay, well, just stop saying those words like they mean anything to us, dude. What 1/3?
It having 1 power is very significant.
Oh, duh, yeah, Tetsuko.
Tetsuko Mazawa.
I should have gotten that because I play that card in.
Yeah, it's a great card and it makes your 1-drop stuff.
Foils this are $8 or $10 or something.
That's one of those cards that, I guarantee you, none of us would ever not pick it if you put cards in our hands. But we sure didn't blink on naming that one. Yeah.
Because I would definitely pull a Changeling Titan if I saw it. But
yeah, exactly.
When I had to think of all the green uncommons in the set, I drew a blank.
That's why this game's fun.
Yep. And the people who are worse than this at this than us are like impressed, and the people who are better get to feel smart. Like, I'm smarter than guys on a podcast.
That's the secret to all content.
That's how they talk.
It's to be the dumbest person who makes content.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line you gotta aim for.
Yeah.
I think we do a great job.
We do. We're the dumbest podcast, but like it turns out nobody can make you stop doing a podcast if you don't get canceled. So like we've just been doing this for 10 years because it's not illegal.
Because it's not illegal.
We're allowed to make this podcast.
You know,
this
surprisingly,
that is
that is the logic I use for a lot of the things I do in my life. It's not illegal. All right, and as a reminder, if you want to level up like you did with that segment, Breaking Bulk, you can do so by going to our sponsor, mtgstocks.com. That is where we find all of our picks of the week. It's where we find our Breaking Bulks. It's where we're able to look and see, well, I think this card is heading up, or we can look and see, well, this used to be a pick, and then this reprint bottomed it out. And a lot of the sort of historical knowledge that we're able to bring to predict future card movements is based on what's happened with cards in the past, and that is what MTG Stocks is for. 10 years of data the website has, and if you check out the premium side, you have access to all of that at your fingertips, as well as custom alerts. You can track anything you want. It is, bar none, the best tools in the business, and if you don't want DJ to dox you, maybe go check out mtgstocks.com.
He will.
We'll do it,
so one reason people ask us why we don't we're not sponsored by Mage or something like that. You know, we've been doing this long enough that we could get a sponsor like that, but we just really don't want to plug anything we don't believe in.
MTG Stocks, Coalesce, and Squatty Potty.
Yeah.
I will sing the praises of Squatty Potty to anyone who will listen.
That's one of the reasons we're still partnered with Original Magic Art. And we still have a promo code there. Brew Crew, I want to say?
I believe it is Brew Crew.
Try Brew Crew, and then try Brainstorm Brewery, and then try the Nintendo code. Any three of those.
Then try the Nintendo.
Then try Brainstorm Brew, then try Brew Crew 35, then try Brew Crew 30. Anytime I buy something on a website, I type sorry 25, sorry 20, and sorry 15.
Oh, welcome 10, welcome 15.
Yeah, because those are so often promo codes. And it hits... Yeah. I think that's all Honey is, honestly. I think Honey just tries a bunch of shit like that and then gives up.
Look, man, it's been like years since any of those websites where you're like, search for a coupon code. It's been so long since I've ever had one of those work for me.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if they just like have an extension that like resists. It's just some dude on two people on a keyboard. Just like defeating the honey bot. That's their job.
NCIS style.
Yeah. Dump him on the other side of the firewall. He's trying welcome 25. He'll hit welcome 15 in 30 seconds.
Change the E to a 3. Change the E to a 3. Quick.
Reroute the bypass and dump him on the other side of the firewall. Quick, our DNS is servering.
Dude, no matter how many times that particular clip gets made fun of, man, it's just a banger. Like, it just always hits. And surely you know what we're talking about, but if you don't, it's the
Ask
famous...
your old racist dad. He watches CBS.
It's the famous...
Don't call me during Blue Bloods.
It's the NCIS hacking scene where two people just say the most... Like, you think Jason's making fun of it there?
No.
Like, you think he's memeing, but I think he's underselling the level of
accurate.
ridiculousness it is.
What about there was, like, some files were hidden inside a copy of Prince of Persia and they couldn't access it from a remote terminal? They had to beat Prince of Persia. And so they, like, none of them could do it, and they brought in the intern, and he was, like concentrating super hard to beat Prince of Persia.
Wow. They brought in a Zoomer to play a 20-year-old video game. And he's like, what's a PlayStation? 1, anyway, I suppose, but yeah. Yikes. All right, well, yeah, speaking of leveling up, but in maybe
if she doesn't know who Crash Bandicoot is, she's not old enough for you, bro.
DJ, you have leveled up recently. Let's talk about the purchase you have made. We talked about the original Magic card scanner you had gotten some number of months back, and you've recently upgraded to sort of the big time one, right? You want to tell people what your experience has been like there and what it's solving for you?
Yeah, sure. So I bought a sorting machine a few months ago, and it didn't work the way I needed it to, so I ended up returning it. And I bought this thing that you can kind of see in the background, and that JJ will put something on the screen.
Is it a zoo?
It's not a zoo. I did not buy a zoo. This should have much more plot development in my storyline than buying a zoo. So
why'd they buy the zoo though?
I'm so confused. This is a Dr. Seuss thing?
No, it's a movie that came out like 15 years ago or something.
Can you guess the title of the movie, Corbin?
Is it I Bought the Zoo?
No, it's We Bought a Zoo.
You idiot.
Jesus.
My bad.
How paternalistic of you to assume that just because Matt Damon is the only one in that family that has a job, he bought a zoo. It's We Bought a Zoo.
Okay.
There's no I in zoo.
Sounds like a good movie.
So, for those of you who have never been to the TCG Player headquarters, which I assume is most, if not all of you, I bought the sorting machine that TCG Player uses, and it is the one that TCG Player owns, technically. It is made by Robotics, which is basically the premier card sorting machine on the market. A lot of the very, very high-level stores have a lot of these. I bought my first one. Mine says
first. He said first.
He did say first. He must.
I did. I hope to scale.
If it's so good, why isn't it running right now?
Because it makes noise that will impact.
Because he's being a professional, Jason. DJ,
so
listen.
Noisy.
DJ, what does this one do? You know, for anybody who maybe looked at the old ones, and what is this? You now have the top of the market, right? So what does this do? This shows what is capable at the high end of sorting cards with a machine. So
besides apparently generated deafening cacophony.
So apparently, besides that, the old sorting machine I had did a binary sort, which is that you'd picked criteria for it to sort into A or B, which is mostly value for most of the people listening. Most of the people listening would want to put a stack of cards in, and if they don't have every single price of every single card memorized, then they would want it to pick out every card that is over $1 or over 50 cents or what have you. You could also theoretically sort by like color of like pick out all the red cards, but that's not really useful in any way. But what I have, it is a pretty large machine, about 45 inches long, about 2 or 3 feet deep, and it's sitting on a nice sturdy table that I bought. It will set, sort, and alphabetize. It will sort by price. It will sort by basically whatever algorithm I choose to set it to. You put those cards in the little tray over there, and it holds up to 1,000 cards. It takes 2 hours to sort 1,000 cards, and you can spit them out, and it'll do all the work for you. So I can set it to say, set, sort, and alphabetize all of these cards, but pull out all the bulk rares. And it'll do that.
But how many trays does it have where it could set sort?
So there's 40 bins, I guess is the best way to put it. There's 40 bins that are, when you lift the lid of the machine up, again, JJ will have the thing on the screen so you can actually see what the inside of the machine looks like. But it'll pick up a card from one of the initial trays, move it to a bin, and then continue to do that, and then it'll pull all the cards back in the right order.
So it'll resort.
Yes, what it hands you back is the load tray that is just completely sorted. So then the load tray has 8 slots, each of which hold up to 125 cards. So the machine holds 1,000 cards roughly, and then you just have those cards. Then you file them away in your inventory, which is what these big steel pieces of shelving are. The only thing it doesn't really do, it does not distinguish whether something is foil. So it does not distinguish whether something is in different language, and it does not distinguish condition. So what I am doing right now is I have a big store inventory that I bought that I am pre-sorting. So we're going through and picking out every card that is foil, every card that is non-English, and every card that is worse than LP. And then we are putting those in their own piles, and those will get run through separately. So the machine comes with a tablet that you use to operate it. And I will click, okay, this is a batch of all moderately played English non-foil cards. put the tray in of 1,000 cards, press the button to set, sort, and alphabetize them, and remove any card that is under the value threshold of probably 50 cents. And then I wait 2 hours, and then the little oven timer dings, and then I pull the tray back out, and then I hand them to somebody to file away into my inventory.
I won't lie, man. It sounds pretty good. I know the last one you had some setup required. How user friendly is this high end? Because this is super interesting, I think, for listeners, because we had sort of the do it yourself at home semi-professional version you had experience with before, and now you have the top of the line industrial model.
So there's 3 tiers, I guess, of sorting machines that exist on the open market right now that you can just buy and have arrive at your house. I'm not counting ones that are like in development or on like a 2-year wait list or whatever. There's one that is a couple $1,000s. That is the low end one. It is the cheapest sorting machine on the market that I'm aware of. It ships from Europe, and it is very bare bones and like 3D printed, basically, and very, very hodgepodge, thrown together. Like you have to do all the repairs yourself, no warranty, buy what you get, and that's it. And like if something breaks, you probably have to know how to code and 3D print the correct part or solution yourself. So it is a very low upfront cost, but if you have very specified industry knowledge, then you might be able to make it do its thing correctly. So I stayed very clear of that one. But that one does seem to be able to sort and maybe alphabetize if you get it to do its thing correctly. Again, very, very low end for the intents and purposes of this discussion. The second tier one is the $8,000 one that I bought and then returned. It just does a binary sort. It takes up a very, very low amount of room. It stands on a small desk reasonably easily, holds 1,000 cards, sorts them in an hour or so. And then there is the Roka, which is a big step up. For anyone wondering, the grand total cost of that is $23,500.
So there you go. There are the 3 tiers of the market. So,
and
this is something maybe like if you're anticipating growing to a size that, DJ started with a tiny little operation and now he's running this. So it's certainly a market that's interesting to know about. Or if you have a store that, if your store is pretty heavily invested, they may not even know about some of this stuff.
I do think that this machine is something that you would want as a LGS. Probably before you hire your your 3rd or 4th employee. Like if you're backlogged on cards and you're an LGS and you are somebody that says like, man, we keep buying all these cards, we don't have the ability to sort them, and you have 2 people sitting at a desk sorting cards for 8 hours a day, I would want this instead of a 2nd or 3rd employee, which is
so
basically
it's a robot that destroys human jobs.
Well, you do still need to have somebody run it. And
what do you mean run it? Do you have to keep feeding the hopper with cards or something?
I mean, every couple hours, and then you would still need somebody to file away more cards, because now that I have a machine, I have more cards that will need to be filed away. The machine also will give you a CSV file of every card that is scanned in that sort.
That's a super key part, I would assume, when it comes to managing for an inventory.
Oh yeah.
So once it's done with its sort, it will email me a CSV file, and that CSV file is formatted so that it can be uploaded to a TCG player with very minimal effort.
It's almost worth it if you just buy list a lot, because if it set sorts and alphabetizes and puts it in a CSV for you, just put that in a box and send it to Card Kingdom. That rules.
Yeah, you could absolutely do that.
I mean, that's the price on technology like this always comes down over time, and who knows, man. Look, in 10 years. Maybe we're the dinosaurs for being able to even pick cards by hand, right? Like maybe it costs $5,000 for a high-end one of these in 10 years, and every LGS has one. It has the potential to really upend the market, I suppose, as it disseminates its way down.
So there is some level, and this goes back to the eBay episode that I was not on because I was sick, but like Robotics is owned by TCG Player, which means that when I buy collections, or if I happen to buy cards via TCG Player buy list because I'm a direct seller, that TCG Player is getting a fee when I buy collections sometimes, and then they're getting a fee from me by the fact that I use this thing and pay for a yearly warranty, and then they're getting a fee when I sell the card via TCG Direct. And if you use TCG Player Pro, then they're getting a fee from your like website hosting and advertising your.
Don't forget TCG. You have your TCG Player Infinite subscription.
Yeah, you have your TCG Player Infinite subscription to do that with. So like it's definitely edging closer to a vertical monopoly, where TCG Player from farm to table has a hand in the entire part of your operation as a business, and you become increasingly reliant on them. And
pretty soon we're gonna get paid in TCG Player company.
Yeah.
Oh my God, store credit. We're like lumberjacks.
Do lumberjacks get paid in wood historically? Is that a...
No, they got paid in company store credit, and they can only buy stuff at the company store.
Well, to that point, TCG Player bought the app that scans. The
right.
TCG
Yeah, they bought
app,
Delver Lens originally.
Delver
that
Lens,
that was like 6 years ago or something.
But you can see that they have, every time something's popped up, TCG Player has, like you mentioned, vertical integration. They started, when I started playing Magic 15 years ago, people quoted Star City prices, not TCG Player. Just from a business angle of what they've done to the market. And then the people who have found success on there have continued to evolve the market. People like Caffrey, who have sort of pushed the boundaries of what you can do there. And I don't know. There's just a lot of it's impressive on the one hand. There's sort of the ascent, but of what they've done. But on the other hand, you're right. It does inch closer to that vertical monopoly, and it's not like TCG Player has glowing reviews from its vendors. Anyway.
There are some things that TCG Player does very well, and there are some things that TCG Player does very poorly. And I think it's a discussion for another day on how much of each of those things exist.
Very tactful answer, DJ. Very well put. And that means that you're absolutely right.
Thank you for the diplomatic answer, man, who was fired by TCG.
Because right now, it is time for Pick of the Week.
Pick of the Week. Pick of the Week. Pick of the Week. Time for the Pick of the Week.
I just finished explaining my machine, so I guess I will continue my rant. And my theme...
Was this picked by a robot?
No, it was not, but it does continue my theme for cards being picked for the week. Laughless Dragon Queen has dipped a little bit. It's a card that I used to put in the quarter pile all day, every day, at every Magic event, and it would sell for $1 constantly, and it continued to do that, so we had to pay 50 cents, sell it for $1.50, $2. You know how the market works. This card is like $6 now. It continues to be just a very, very casual all-star seller of a card that doesn't frequently find its way back into the market. So one thing that doesn't often get talked about on this cast is how many cards find their way back into the market and how. So like a good example of this is Snapcaster Mage. It's a boomer example. I guess I could go with something like Solitude nowadays or Force of Negation, but those are cards that very easily come back into the market. People buy those for decks, and then
you buy a 4-of for a deck, you scrub out, and you're like, F this deck in the ear. You go over to the vendor, and you sell it for 2/3 of what you paid 3 hours ago.
Yes, those are competitive staples that change hands very, very frequently, and they just... Even commander staples like Cyclonic Rift are very easily found their way back into the market. Like people change their commander decks. They just update what they want to be doing with the game. They get power scaled out of the group. We're like, oh, we're not playing Cyclonic Rift anymore. That card's too good. House rule bans, etc. Laughless Dragon Queen is a card that does not find its way back into vendor hands very easily. It is a card with very weird reprints. It's got like a Walmart specific reprint, Target specific reprint, that kind of thing. It's on the list, which everybody knows is not a frequently opened product that impacts prices to a large degree. And Coalesce 2019 was a few years ago. So when people buy this card, they buy it for either their Dragon Collection binder, or they buy it for their unsleeved Dragon Precon that they bought in 2016 and haven't changed except for the one dragon they find out exists every few months.
I like how you're pretending dragons are casual, and like that Teamer dragon that's not even that good was like the most built commander out of that set. Like,
I mean, there's also that. Like, it is a card that does...
Joe Manganiello has a dragon deck. You think you're better than him? You think you're better than Magic Mike? I don't know his character's name from that movie. think you're better than Flash Thompson? The white one? Huh? He's married to Sofia Vergara, okay? So if he's a casual, then I guess I want to be a casual too someday.
Radagast.
I think we can all aspire to be as casual as Sofia Vergara's husband. There's another tactful exit from me talking on this podcast. There you go.
Perfect. Yeah, Jason, you're the one who just give us a pick.
Karn's Temporal Sundering.
Oh, that's a card.
Love it.
It's too cheap.
It takes extra turns.
It's legendary.
Yeah, it is a legendary.
Sorcerer.
What is the mechanic? Just
Control
legendary.
legends.
Yeah, what it's not. It's like control a legendary creature or planeswalker.
Yes.
Yeah, what a weird. That's kind of a weird mechanic. Not gonna lie.
Legendary matters is just going to be a thing forever. Karn's Temporal Sundering is a time walk that's legendary. It's
all the time.
Too cheap.
Basically, all the time walks have been worth money. Even
I mean, Savor the Moment is what, like $15 or something.
And there are more Karn's Temporal Sunderings out there than Savor.
Savor the Moment was
Savor
20.
the Moment's the worst one. Savor the Moment is like the one time walk that people were like, this is unplayable, right? Like, we can all agree that it's the worst one. Okay, good.
And then somebody said it's not unplayable if you play it.
It's not unplayable if you have Planeswalkers.
If it's in your deck.
I mean, Part the Water Veil is another one to look at. It's only $2. But it's
like Fart the Water Veil.
It's gone up. Yeah, well, it's gone up from $1 a couple years ago. So to your point, I think that you just can't really miss on a time walk, especially one with upside like Temporal Sundering. There you go.
Boom. Time walk in Moxen. I mean, Mox Amber was a $4 card at one point. Now it's $50.
Yeah, Moxes are a good point for sure. All right, I'll finish up here with Augur of Autumn. That's a 2/3 from Innistrad. Specifically, I've been watching the extended art version of this.
Which Innistrad, Corbin? There are so many.
Midnight Hunt, one of the most
Midnight Hunt or Midnight Hunt double feature. There's so many.
I don't, and you know what, DJ, to answer your question, I couldn't even tell you where you get the extended art version of it. Not double feature, I think. Not the double feature ones that no one can read. But it's
Corbin,
$5.
Why
it was
are you having
$4.
a hard time keeping track of sets? Is it because Warhammer Spoilers started today and Unfinity Explorers start next week?
Nope.
Is that why?
Nope. It wasn't, but that's good to know. I'm still opening these collector boosters for Dominaria United, man. Like, I'm here having fun, trying to catch up and do the thing, open magic, and you're telling me I have to care about another set already? Another two sets?
Money. You have to care for money, and that's the worst reason to have to care.
I see. Are there acorns? Are acorns back?
Yeah.
Is this the acorn set?
It's the acorn set.
I'm just gonna...
set. You know who else has stickers? Coalesce Apparel. Go to coalesceapparel.com and use the gift code Brainstorm Brewery to get a percentage off your order. I just placed an order. I got Shivam's shirt, and I got Caleb's shirt, and I got Sam's shirt, and our shirt, and some stickers, and an Anti-Mulligan Club shirt because it had the Birds of Paradise on it. And I got the Okiba Gang Shinobi one that looks like Akira. And I got all of that with 10% off of my order because I used the gift code Brainstorm Brewery. Go to Coalesce. Buy our merch.
Corbin, pop quiz. Ready? You started this podcast with a pop quiz. I'm hitting you up with one at the end. Let's go.
I'm ready, hotshot.
So, the price of a Roka sorting machine is $23,500. How many Brainstorm Brewery hoodies can you get with that?
Not enough?
800.
I'll multiple choice it for you. Is it closer to 300, closer to 400, or closer to 500?
It's probably like 800.
This is a math problem. You should be good here.
Did you tell me the price of a unit of a Brainstorm Brewery hoodie?
Yeah, you don't know?
Oh.
You don't... I mean, I knew. I'm on Coalesce all the time. I'm buying hoodies left and right. Like that's.
It's closer to 400.
I bet it's 5.
I bet it's 5.
You know, it's 427.
Woo!
But that's only if you don't use the code. So I don't think you get this one.
I don't know how much they are without the gift code. Because
you'd add 42 and it would round up to 500.
Yeah. So I mean, that code really let Jason win this pop quiz, didn't it?
Ooh, thanks, gift code. DJ, every time I say code, you tell me not to say code.
Did I say code? JJ, censor me every time I say
you said code every
JJ,
time,
censor
dude?
me.
Yes, censor DJ.
All of us.
I get it right every time. It is a gift code, Brainstorm Brewery at Coalesce Apparel. Go check it out. Support the community.
Because
support
we're not
them.
promoting ourselves. We're giving you a gift of 10% in your pocket.
Sure, we would never promote ourselves at patreon.com/BSB. That's not something we
That's
would do.
gauche.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
But those Coalesce shirts are very nice quality, and they get the Coalesce on the sleeve. That makes me feel real warm and fuzzy inside because we're part of a great lineup on that website. Brainstorm Brewery, Ristic Studies, Shivam Butt, Caleb Durward.
Also, Coalesce is starting a new lineup of shirts that are only available if you subscribe to their newsletter. And I unsubscribed from a lot of newsletters. I cannot remember the last time I voluntarily signed up for one, but we're going to put JJ to work here and put another graphic on the screen of the Elish Norn Infect shirt that is super, super cool. That one's exclusive to the mailing list. And during our marketing email, I sent Cedric a little asterisk. I was like, hey, on a personal note, add me to the marketing, add me to the mailing list so I can get that shirt. So that one is straight fire, and it's probably my favorite shirt of all time.
Everybody, thank you for sticking with us here on Brainstorm Brewery. You can find us every Friday on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app, or you can get the episode early if you are a patron. So thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next time.
Why would you not want the podcast earlier than other people? You can buy our picks of the week before they do.
And so you can hear stories like this.
Buying the pick of the week early is like reasonable value. It's like, okay, the real value is in the flex, the gloat, the showmanship, the oh, I heard that. Did you get the news? Did you not? Does your town crier not come to you 24 hours sooner?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you a poor?
The queen just died. Long live your opportunity to rise above others. Like, this is your chance to seize the power. To pay that $5. Get the podcast early. Treat yourself.
Absolute power. And if you don't think absolute power corrupts absolutely, watch the new king try to deal with somebody who is paid to wait on him. Watch him scowl at them through clenched teeth for having something on his desk. If you don't think absolute power corrupts absolutely, see the fact that, like, they closed down children's events in the park because of the dead queen. No one can have fun today, the queen is dying.